morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this video from. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Aching, and in today's video, I am going to show you one of the recipes that I use to make tomato sauce. I usually create my homemade tomato sauce because I like adding a little bit of flavor, and there's this one particular ingredient that I'm going to be using in this recipe. They are Armenian peppers. Made from Armenia. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. But these peppers right here, this is how they look like, and they are seasonal. So there's this particular grocery store that where I have found them to be consistent in a way that during the season when these peppers like come out, they're blooming, that's when they usually have it. So I always try to time it because it is seasonal. It's not something that I can just go to any grocery store or any time of the year and find them. So every time I get them, I just grab a whole bunch. And if you have not watched my previous video, I have one video where I've shown you guys how I clean my grocery produce that I buy from the grocery before preparing it to just make my life easy. I've already cleaned them, but this is how they look like. They are beautiful and they bring a lot of flavor. I like spicy food, so that is why I make my homemade tomato pepper sauce. I call it pepper because in Africa, pepper is kind of something spicy. And then also I'm going to be adding this shot peppers right here, these red peppers, and then I'm going to add some red bell peppers and some tomatoes, Romanian tomatoes, or Roman tomatoes, and then I'm going to add some onion. So that is going to be the recipe here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of chicken bouillon. I'm not going to add a lot of salt because the food that I'll be preparing with this homemade tomato sauce, um, I'm going to add more flavor. So I don't want it to be salty, but just to add just a little tanginess to it. If it's your first time watching our video, welcome to our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed and you're watching this video, please go ahead and subscribe. We are hoping for 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much. Did I say subscribe? Subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you to our viewers. I am truly, truly grateful. Now, there's one thing that might be crazy to some of you or not. I do not know. But with my past experience, I've posted other videos where I've used red habaneros to make pepper sauce. I always like getting any type of red peppers to just create this amazing homemade red sauce. But every time you're working with peppers, your eyes get watery, your hands, your lips. It is spicy. It gets hot. Let me put it that way. It really gets hot. And after all those times that I've created this pepper sauce, I have learned the hard way. So in today's video, as I walk you through how I prepare this, I have my gloves. This is the tool that I'm going to use. And yes, I do have my swimming goggles. Because of the juices, sometimes I wear my glasses, but they're in the car. I'm too lazy to go to the car and grab them. So I have my swimming goggles. And this one, as you can see, I've already cleaned them, but as you can see, it really kind of sucks in everything so that your eyes, nothing splatters on your eyes. Because if this pepper or any of the juice gets into your eyes, it has happened before. And guys, yeah, let me just leave it that way. But I did come ready this time round, and I will try my best to remember to be ready. But like I said, I have my gloves and I have my goggles for protection, and we are going to proceed to the next steps. I'm going to soften them using a crock pot, and then after that I'm going to blend them and then store them. It's always the same step that I use for the other pepper sauce. It's just this one is just one of my favorite pepper sauce that's my red bell pepper, red pepper, a lot of peppers. My this is one of my favorite peppers, and it's seasonal, so I'm just excited that I was actually able to grab it this time round. So I'm going to proceed to the next steps. And I'm going to adjust our camera. So what I already did, perfect. I think that's a good location for the camera. I already prepared some of the onions. I'm going to use white onion. I usually use the red onions, but this time around I had this left over and did not want it to go to waste, so I'm going to use that. I have my red bell peppers that I've already prepared a little bit. I have my tomatoes that I've already prepared. I'm just going to cut them into pieces, medium piece, and dump them in this crock pot right here. And then we're going to focus on the peppers only because that is where the heat is. And I was very intentional with preparing these first. So I'm just going to dump them here. I'm not going to add the water right now. I usually add just a little bit of water, but I'm not going to do that right now. Right now, just the goal is getting the ingredients in here. So I'm cutting them into big pieces. They do not have to be pretty. By the time they cook, they're going to soften and reduce in size, or shrink in size for that matter. I'm going to cut this tomato here. Trust me, guys, this does not have to be pretty at all. The goal is to cut them in some decent size. And this is how it looks like so far. So I am going to cleanse my hands because it is about to get spicy in here. Spicy and hot. So first, I am going to put on my goggles, my swimming goggles. So perfect. And then I'm going to put on my gloves that are already been cleaned. And now, here is the truth. I am going to cut, I usually cut just the edges like so. And then to make my work easy, I usually have like a extra plastic bag here just to put the seeds, to dump the seeds inside there. Just trying to work smart, not hard. Then cut them into pieces like so. Removing any extra seeds. The seeds makes it spicier, so it's going to be spicy anyway. I kind of get rid of some seeds and save some. Do not want to cut my gloves. And as you can see, it's nothing fancy for the shape. The goal here is to cut them. We can't kind of just dump them into the crock pot when they're still whole, because when you use the blender kind of, depending on the blender that you have, the blender that I have, it's easier just for me to do this, like cut them in this size. But I love these peppers. They are seasonal. One day, by the grace of God, when I own a farm, this right here, I would just save these seeds and literally grow them because they add such an amazing flavor to your food. Okay, that, that. Perfect. Sometimes I use tomato paste, the store-bought, the container tomato paste in some food. I still use that. Me doing all of this does not mean that I do not use the store-bought tomato paste. I still use it. There are some dishes that are amazing with it. I just like um, having everything I have, having all of the ingredients that I need. This just provides more versatility for me, and that's why I prepare this one. I do the homemade, and then when it comes that time when I need the container tomato paste, I just use it. So just in case, I know I do this video a lot when I show how I make my homemade tomato sauce, but trust me guys, I still use the tomato paste that comes in a can. Just making sure I have everything. Almost done. Just have 4 more pieces. And after this, softens in the cooker, the pressure cooker, it's usually very easy to blend them. So this is our last batch. Here, here, here. Move the seeds. Okay. And then we cannot forget our small red peppers. That is spicy. Spiciness coming out. So I'm going to leave some of the seeds inside. I'm not getting rid of all of the seed. We want the spiciness too, actually. We just do not want to get rid of everything. I'm going to save one. I always like saving something extra just in case. Tends to come in handy. So I'm just going to remove only from that pepper. Perfect. Going to set these aside and throw this away. If I had a farm, I do not currently, as of now. I will in the future. I claim it. But if you have one, this will be a good manure, I would say, to add. But in our case, that does not apply. So I'm just going to clean our station. Perfect. Our goggles are out, so we are done with them. So this is how our pot looks like. I'm just going to press them a little bit. I'm not going to close the pot, the crock pot when I cook it. I'm just going to let it cook open because it will not let me close since it's this full. So what I do, I just add a little bit of water. These peppers are going to produce their own water, but this is just as a safety precaution for it not to for it not to burn at the bottom. And then I will add some chicken bouillon, but we don't have enough space right now. So when they start softening, they're going to shrink in size, and then I'm going to add the chicken bouillon and remove it from the crock pot, let it sit, and then I'm going to show you how I blend them. So our peppers have cooled down after softening them, and what we are going to do now is bring in the blender, which we already have right here. And what I'm going to do, I am going to start adding some parts of this in here, and we are going to blend into a nice sauce. But what I'm going to do first, I am going to add some liquid at the bottom, and then add our peppers. With a little bit of liquid. There we go. Going to set that aside. Have this towel to always help me control working station. Then we are going to blend. I am happy with what I see. I want it to be very, very smooth. So that's why I take my time while on the blender, and this is how it looks like. As you can see, it's so smooth and colorful. Okay. Going to set this aside and repeat the same process. set this aside so you can see exactly how our sauce is coming out. Looks amazing and so vibrant. That. Going to do one last round. Oops, and I made a mess, which is okay, it happens. Have to be careful. Perfect. Let's set this aside. Clean this out of the way. Awesome. Going to set that aside. Bring in our bowls right here. This right here. So we can add more to it. Perfect. Going to set that on the side. And this brings us to the end of our video. This is our homemade pepper sauce with the Armenian, sorry, I was confused the two, Armenian red peppers. It looks amazing. You can use this to prepare you can use this as your red or as your tomato base to prepare any type of food that goes with tomato paste or tomato sauce, but it is spicy, it has some heat to it, and that's exactly how I like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to transfer this into a container, and then I'm going to freeze them and use them as I go, and we'll see how it goes. But at least I have enough red sauce for quite some time, and that's why I love taking my time doing this, because it truly gives me enough time to actually it gives me a good break before I run out, and it lasts me a long time. And this is what I use on all my foods when I'm preparing any type of food that needs red sauce or that needs a tomato base. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have not subscribed, please do not forget to subscribe, and we'll be having more videos where I share about more cuisine, more tricks, and how I prepare my food from the beginning to the end. I really hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for the support to all my viewers. I'm very, very grateful, and until next time, bon appetit.